Hello, good evening. You can hear nice chanting in the background. It's almost 6 o'clock here. So, we are going to discuss the second part of our lecture on network application security. So, as for a recall, uh, yesterday in our previous lecture, we have discussed about the basic network concepts, how the about what is a network and how the devices are connected, and the different layers in a computer networked computer setup, and that sort of stuff. So today we are going to discuss about application protocols over security protocols. So that means when we have applications running uh, in our devices, which is called the application layer, we have application protocols in the application layer. That means the protocols define which pieces of data is connecting to which application, determined by the port number, and for that connection, how to protect that sort of data flow using security protocols. So this is kind of a overall picture about network security protocols we use in our day-to-day life. So one is secure shell protocol, which is called SSH commonly. So this is used for remote logging, file transfer, and kind of a limited VPN service. So mainly for remote logging and file transferring. And the second thing is transport layer security, TLS. So this is used for extensively on web and often refers to the privacy policies as a means of providing confidential web connections. So this is to protect our web traffic. And the third is IP security or IPsec protocol that provides security services at the IP level. IP level, we discussed that IP level is the level that defines the addresses for the devices connected in the network. So this is at the IP level, data is encrypted. So that means the channel is going to be a encrypted channel from one device to the other device. So we can call this as a virtual private network. That is kind of a private network. If you have a public network, and in that network, so I can draw a small diagram here like this. Let's say we have few devices like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 devices, and these devices are connected with each other like this. Lot of connections. So this is a public network, and in this kind of network, if we can identify some connections, like I'm highlighting few connections here, this connection between these two devices and this connection and this connection. If these three devices, 1, 2, 3, 4 devices, encrypt data from end to end, like from the device to the other device, and if these set of connections are kind of encrypted, nobody can uh, share these channels to transmit data to other connections. So this is kind of a private connection, private network inside this common network. So IP security which defines kind of a end-to-end encryption of data from one device to other device in a common network setup. So it provides kind of a private network in there. So we call it is virtual private network, because this is not really a private network. This is situated in this common network, but virtually it acts like a private network, because nobody can share these lines, because they are encrypted from device to device. And the other one is Wi-Fi security. We use web and WPA protocols to provide Wi-Fi security. Usually when you have your wireless routers, web protocol is active there. So your laptop or the mobile phone is connected to the router, but that connection between your device to the router is protected by a password. So you have to share the password that is written under the router, and you have to enter that password when you connect to the router. So Wi-Fi security is there using web protocol. So this provides security services at link layer for the wireless communication. So these are the set of security protocols we use often, and you can see these different security protocols are active in different layers. Some are active in application layer, the SSH and TLS, and IPsec it is active in this the the IP layer, and the Wi-Fi security, that web and WPA, which is active in the link layer, linking the device to the network, and IP layer is from that like kind of the from that connection, that from the device to the other point that it is going to communicate with. And the transport layer, that provides kind of encryption. Transport layer and that TLS and SSH, that provides security for the application layer. So data coming from that application is encrypted and going to the uh, other end, and once it is coming, it is going to be decrypted at the application layer, like in between the transport layer and application layer, data is going to be encrypted or decrypted. So that TLS and SSH, they are situated in between these application and transport layers. So these are the different security protocols we use, and keep in mind all the cryptographic primitives we learned in our previous lectures, they are used in these different places to provide the necessary protection for our data. And this slide show again some examples about different security protocols used in different layers. In application layer, the application can be web application or email or logging. So based on that, we use for the web applications, we use TLS or SSL, which will come with HTTPS in your address bar. And in email applications, we have SMTP, POP3, IMAP kind of protocols to provide protection to email services. And for logging, SSH, Telnet kind of protocols are there. So usually this the TLS security protocol is in between this application layer and the transport layer. So we can say it is like kind of encrypting, or yeah, provide the protection for the application uh, layer things, especially for the web applications, the TLS protocol. And in the transport layer, it provides the do the processing for the packets, create the packets for data transmission, and when it comes to the addressing in the internet layer, there the addressing is happening, and once that point is encrypted from the device to the other device, the connection is encrypted. So that's what we call kind of providing the virtual private connections on virtual private networks. And in the link layer, that is like connecting the device to the communication channel. There we have the web or WPA kind of security protocols to provide the protect the open wireless channel and make it kind of a private connection between the device and the router. So otherwise, any outsider can access the router uh, because the, the, the data transmission medium or the channel is open, it is wireless. So having this kind of a protection protocol, only the legitimate users can access the router, even it is wireless. So specifically this kind of the WPA or web protocols provide something like similar to a wired connection kind of thing, because like if it is a wired connection, the router and the device is connected through a wire. Nobody can access the router without having a wire, without knowing to the owners of the router. But if it is a wireless connection or the wireless router, anybody who can access the bandwidth can connect to the router. So wired equivalent, uh, the web means wired equivalent privacy. So web or the wired equivalent privacy is provided by having a password protection between the device, the the, the, the computer, the tablet or the phone kind of a device, and the router. So these are a picture about underlying cryptographic primitives or building blocks we use. So there we learned about symmetric and asymmetric key cryptography. And in the branch of symmetric key cryptography, we have ciphers, hash functions, and message authentication codes. Ciphers provide the confidentiality, hash functions provide message digest to help the message authentication codes, or when it is coming to asymmetric key cryptography, it provides facilitate the signature schemes. Anyway, the hash functions and message authentication codes are there in the symmetric key branch, and in the ciphers, there can be stream ciphers or the block ciphers. And as hash functions, we can have SHA-3, SHA-256, likewise. And message authentication code, HMAC or the hashMAC, is the standard. So in here you can see the blue color are the current standardized things, and ash color things are the uh, outdated ones. So stream ciphers RC4 is outdated, uh, but there are other stream ciphers came to take this place. And in AES is the standard currently. 3DES 3DES is still commonly used, and DES is outdated, and MD5 and SHA-1 are outdated now. These are the current standards. And when it comes to asymmetric key cryptography, there are public key encryption schemes, RSA. We can have RSA is the current standard, even though we have LGAMAL. LGAMAL is not commonly used. And digital signatures, RSA based digital signature is standard, DSA is based on LGAMAL scheme, and elliptic curve DSA scheme, they are the standards. And when it comes to a key exchange, Diffie-Hellman or elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman are the current standards. So these are the cryptographic building blocks we learned, and they are the things actually applied in these kind of different layers to provide the necessary protection. So now let's look at SSH protocol, which is a protocol, a security protocol in the application layer. Secure Shell Protocol. So what is SSH protocol? SSH is used for secure remote access. This is similar to Telnet, but this is secure. Telnet is non-secure thing. And this provides public key authentication of servers and clients and encrypted communication. So public key authentication, that means it use something like asymmetric key mechanism to provide the necessary authentication. For authentication, we use digital signatures, so it can be RSA, DSA, or elliptic curve DSA kind of thing to provide authentication. A public key authentication mechanism to authenticate the clients and servers, and specified in RFC by IETF. IETF means Internet Engineering Task Force. RFC means their request for comments specification. That is a kind of a specification or kind of a manual or module, kind of a paper kind of thing, requesting for comments. They provide solution and request for comments. So in that document, they specify this thing. And use of SSH, primarily used as an application itself for remote logging. If you want to log into a server, some remote server, you can use your laptop and you can log into the server from your home. So server can be situated in your office or some other country maybe, but having your laptop connected to the internet and sitting in your room, you can log into the server. For that kind of logging purposes, this SSH protocol is used. So this is occasionally used as poor man's VPN because this provides just one your laptop to the server, kind of one protected channel. Poor man's VPN, not a big VPN. So this provides kind of a end-to-end protection from your laptop to the server. So this is for secure logging, and this logging protocol is based on public key authentication mechanism. So we used cryptography for real world application in this case. And SSH Security Services. What are the services used by this SSH protocol? So message confidentiality protects against unauthorized data disclosure accomplished by use of encryption mechanisms. So public key encryption is used there. So all the messages or the data coming from your going from your laptop to the server and going from the server to your laptop are encrypted. So confidentiality is provided. And message integrity. SSH can determine if data has been changed intentionally or unintentionally during the transit. Integrity of data can be assured by using message authentication code, MAC, and message replay protection. The same data is not delivered multiple times. And peer authentication, server to the client authentication based on public key cryptography, and client to the server authentication based on password or public keys, ensure that network traffic is being sent from the uh, expected party because of this use of this public key cryptography. So entirely using public key cryptography and other mechanisms like MAC, these kinds of protection is provided to your remote logging using this SSH protocol. So this is kind of a kind of providing a protection for remote logging facility using public key and other mechanisms. And client authentication in SSH, the SSH or the secure shell is often used for remote command line access in Unix and Mac OS operating systems. It supports public key authentication. Each account can have multiple associated public keys. So each account can have multiple associated public keys. And public key users can log in to a single account without having to be told the password. So because public keys are there, and because of that, without telling the password to the account, the people who are sharing the public key and secret key, they can log in. And easy to revoke one user's account to access the account. Let's say, like, if you want to revoke one user, so remove one user, or like disable one user to access this server, that user is not being told the password, but instead of that, public key is shared with that user. So we just have to revoke that public key, and then without affecting to other users, we can revoke a particular user. So one user could have a different key from each local computer. If one local computer, so that idea is same as the previous thing, like multiple users can log into that thing. So so if one device, one computer or one mobile phone or whatever device is lost, we can easily revoke the public key related to that device, and then we can continue our work without affecting to other users. Users can associate the same key with multiple accounts, and yields a form of single sign-on. Users can protect their private keys using a password. So this is how the client authentication happens in SSH protocol. So SSH is, but we have to like understand, SSH is a protocol to provide protection for logging and file transferring kind of services, remote logging things. This is using public key mechanisms and MAC kind of mechanisms to provide necessary security features like confidentiality, integrity, and authentication kind of things. So this is about SSH protocol, which is an application layer protocol for application layer security protocol to provide application layer data. And next in our next lecture, we'll be discussing about TLS protocol, that is again running in the application layer, but we can mainly consider it is in between application and transport layers. So application layer data is going through this TLS protocol and do the necessary encryption and take the precautions to provide the security features and transfer it into the transport layer. So we'll discuss about that. There are a lot of information about SSL and TLS protocol suite. Earlier it is called SSL, but now it is called TLS. Okay, let's meet in our next lecture. Thank you.